Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. For those who are new here, my name is Karis and I run Raining Charms, a crochet plushie business. And in today's super quick video, I want to teach you guys how to run your own pattern tester call on whatever social media platform that you use. This is going to be a super quick video, but I know tons of people have been asking about this and a lot of people want to know how to do it. And for me, when I first figured out how to do it, I actually reached out to a few crocheters that I knew in my area that had run successful pattern tester calls, and I asked them, I was like, hey, what do we do? I have no idea how to do this. It's super confusing and I want to do it right. So how did you do it? And they kindly responded back and told me all the ins and outs of pattern tester calls. So I am going to share that with you. So normally I run my pattern tester calls on Instagram. However, I also just started a Patreon that is launching on the 8th of January this year. And that is where I'm going to be offering my future pattern tester calls. But generally, the first thing you want to do when making a post for your pattern tester call is you want a picture of the pattern. Usually the picture is of the finished product. Let's say I was using this chubby dino as a pattern tester call. I would take a picture of him, probably a few so you could see the front and the back, or just something that would make him look really cute where you could see all of the details, maybe kind of like right there. And I would take a picture and I would put words on it using Canva or any other kind of photo editor app where you can put words on it that says pattern tester call. That way people know what it is when they see the picture, and a lot of times people search for pattern tests on the daily because they just enjoy doing that. So it helps those people find it as well. So after you have your picture, for your caption, you want to write that it's a pattern test call. Usually people will put open or closed right below that so that people know if it's currently open or if it is closed. After that, you want to put a greeting, and you also want to say how many people you're looking for to test your pattern. This can vary. It depends on how difficult your pattern is or how many different opinions you want on this pattern. If it's a super complicated pattern, you probably want more people. You probably want, 10 to 12 people looking at this pattern just to really make sure everything is good to go. If it's a smaller pattern, a faster, simpler thing, maybe you only want about 6 people. But honestly, it's totally up to you how many people you want to send this pattern to. But however many people you want, you say, hey, I'm looking for 6 people to test this adorable little chubby dino pattern. And then you can give a little snippet about what the pattern is, what it's made out of, what you want people to test it with. So this is a fluffy pattern. I use fluffy yarn for this. I would prefer people to use chenille yarn for this pattern, but if you don't, let me know in the comments if you're gonna use acrylic. That way you can use that to inform your decision on who you're gonna choose. After that, you wanna let them know when you'll be selecting the testers, when the pattern is gonna release, and how long they will have to test the pattern. Usually people leave about a week for when they're going to select their testers. So they have the post open for a week. They let people come and comment and say like, hey, I want to test it for you. And then at the end of the week, they will choose their testers. How long you give them to test depends again on the complexity of the pattern. If it's a really fast workup, like this little chubby dino, it takes about 15 minutes, then I'd probably give people about a week to finish this pattern and get back to me with any notes. If it's a more complicated pattern, don't be afraid to give 2 weeks, 3 weeks, however you feel people are going to need to finish this pattern and make ample amount of notes to get back to you. And then after that, again, the pattern release, that is totally up to you, but definitely make the pattern release for after everybody's supposed to be done with their testing. So if the testing goes till January 20th, then make sure that the pattern release is after January 20th. And give yourself enough grace time to go through all of the feedback that you got and edit your pattern accordingly. So you might not want your pattern to release on January 20th when you're getting all of your feedback on January 20th. Maybe make it a few more days after that just to give yourself enough time to make those edits. So now that you've done all of the information part, now you'll put a how to apply section right after that. And this is letting people know how to apply to be your pattern tester. A lot of people like to put that you have to follow this person or you have to follow the creator to apply, that you have to like and save the post. That helps that post get out there so that more people see it, so that there's a chance for more people to apply. And then lastly, comment on the post that you would like to test, and if there was any kind of specifics that you mentioned beforehand, like using chenille yarn or acrylic yarn or whatever, have them talk about that as well. And then also to tag 2 or 3 other crocheter friends that you might know that might also want to test the pattern as well. Again, that helps the post get out there so that you have more eyes on it and potentially more testers to select from. After that, there is a requirements section usually, and this is where you put the deadline and things like that of when you're supposed to be done. So one of the requirements might say that you must finish testing by the deadline, and then you'll put the deadline on there, let's say January 20th. And if you don't finish by the deadline, then you won't be considered for a future pattern test, which is important because sometimes people are like, how are we going to make sure that they follow the rules? Well, you can't really, but you can prevent them from doing this again in the future if you ban them from being able to apply in the future. Another requirement that is super popular is to provide a photo when they are done testing, especially if you want to do like a tester appreciation post or anything like that. So have the tester take a picture of their final product and send it to you so that you have that feedback photo. And then depending on the project, if it's super complex, you could also say that they must have crochet experience, more than a beginner, intermediate experience, whatever correlates to the difficulty of the pattern. Another one could be that you have to have an active crochet account, because a lot of times the pattern creators will have their testers post on their account on pattern release day promoting this pattern using their pictures and everything else. So if they have an active account, then that helps promote your pattern. So lastly, one of the requirements can also be that you share that completed creation on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, to help promote the pattern. So that is a list of requirements that are often included in pattern tester calls. And then after that, just finish up by just saying thank you to everybody who applies and who tests the pattern, and remind them again when you'll be selecting their testers. And sometimes you can put how you're going to send the pattern. So you have your pattern tester call all laid out, it is submitted, people are applying, people are commenting, and you're like, oh my goodness, how do I even send the pattern to people? How do I get feedback? What do I do next once I select pattern testers? So after you select your pattern testers, one of the main ways, like if you're using Instagram or anything with a messaging application attached, like for instance with Instagram, then you can send a message to the people who commented and say, hey, I choose you to be my pattern tester. And then my method is I use their email to send the PDF to their email. So when I send them a message, I wait for them to reply and say, hey, awesome, I'd love to test, thank you. And then I ask them for their email so I can send them the PDF. So they send me their email and then I email the PDF to their email. So that is one of the best ways to do it, and I'm pretty sure that's one of the most common ways to do it as well. If you're doing a pattern tester call on YouTube or something that doesn't really have a messaging platform, you could comment below their comment and say, hey, I would like to choose you, can you send me your email? Or you could tell them to shoot you an email at your email, so place your email in that comment if they don't want their email public on this public forum. So that's one way to keep their privacy, because I'm sure you already have your email posted on your page for business inquiries and things like that as well, your professional email. And then after that, once you send everything over and you're communicating back and forth and you get your results back and you go through the editing, then all that's left is to just post your pattern and you are good to go. You're completed. Everything is done. I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any other questions, let me know in the comments below and I will try my best to get back to them. If you want to learn more tips and tricks about crochet, check out these videos here and I will catch you guys there. Bye for now.